What stories do you tell? Pastor Richard told a powerful story for his sermon this week. The gospel lesson for the day is the story of 12-year-old Jesus staying behind in Jerusalem while his parents returned to their hometown. Mary and Joseph discovered that Jesus was not amongst their group and frantically searched for him. They finally found Jesus in the temple, calmly talking with the religious leaders. Jesus would have been listening to the Bible stories, which are about the relationship between God and the Jewish people. These were the stories of Jesus' heritage. Jesus' ancestors were horrible and kind, cruel and generous, unfaithful and faithful. Jesus is said to be descended from King David himself, who was an individual that showed both the worst and the best of human nature. Hearing the stories of our ancestors connects us to tradition and history. This can give us a greater sense of belonging and help us to understand ourselves and perhaps add meaning to our lives. On the flip side, the stories can also be a source of embarrassment or even outright shame. I'll leave my thoughts about the embarrassing and shame-inducing and detrimental stories for another reflection, though. I went to an art exhibit last week. The pictures and sculptures were all about the American West. I was surprised when I felt a sense of kinship and belonging when I was in that exhibit. I'm a fourth-generation Montanan. I got to wondering why that matters. Why it matters that I'm a Montanan. I mean, I've lived most of my adult life away from Montana. I can't say for sure, but I wonder if my family's old homesteading stories have anything to do with it. My great-great-grandparents wanted to make a fresh start for their family and saw the opportunity to claim some land, and then solidified their stake with their knowledge, hard work, and some good fortune. I have this sense of them rewriting their lives, taking risks, and succeeding in the gamble. This is the sort of person I imagine Montanan settlers to be. Some arrived to farm or ranch, others to work on the railroad, others still to extract natural resources. I imagine a great many of them were anxious to leave their previous lives and perhaps unpleasant histories behind. This homesteading lore has been helpful to me. When I have needed to make changes in my life, I've drawn on the stories of ancestors who took risks, embraced the unknown, and leaned into the hard work it would take to make the changes. Along with the stories of our personal ancestors, we have the stories of our faith ancestors. Like Jesus, we can look into the Bible to connect us to tradition and history, and to add meaning to our lives. What stories might bring you meaning and strength?